Hello and welcome to Financial Technology Frontiers. As usual, we always try to bring you some very interesting value to your needs of business in accelerating your business in different parts of the world, especially in North America. Today, we are going to speak to you something very interesting or highlight something very insightful in the area of grants and support that is available for companies which are starting up in Canada in terms of grants and in terms of incentives that are available from the government and the ecosystem to further your business interests in North America. With me today is Sudha Correia, who is a specialist. She is the director of incentives and grants at Deloitte, and she has been advising several organizations which are scale ups, startups into the area of what kind of grants are available for the startups and scale ups to further their business interests in Canada, how to protect their IPs, how to take their innovations, how to take their product development, how to make themselves competitive using the various grants that are available. Please join me in welcoming Sudha Correia, the Director of Incentives and Grants at Deloitte. Sudha, welcome to Financial Technology Frontiers.
Great. Thank you so much, Babu. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and looking forward to our chat.
Superb. So, Sudha, we had this conversation earlier where you mentioned me there are 2000 plus grants available for the organizations in Canada who want to scale up their businesses. This is such a huge plethora of opportunities possible. Navigating this maze is very, very difficult. So, can you just give me a little bit of highlight on what are the key areas where any business which is starting to scale up in Canada can look at these kind of grants?
Definitely. The Canadian government has actually taken a very proactive approach and is very invested in helping Canadian companies grow and make an impact on the worldwide front. This can be different size companies. It could be from startups all the way to multinationals. There are a multitude of programs available to help with many different things, whether it's R&D, if you're looking to hire some skilled workers, if you're looking to maybe put in a new manufacturing facility or purchase a new facility itself. There's a multitude of programs that can help with that. So it can be either a grant, a no interest loan, or a partially forgivable loan if you're able to, just meet your loan obligations. So a lot of programs out there, and it really just depends on the size of the company, what your plans are, what your line of business is. But most of the programs have been set up so that they can cover a wide range of industries, and the government is being quite proactive and having a lot of discussions with groups like Deloitte to kind of see what does the industry need right now, what do the clients need right now, what are they struggling with, where are the areas that we're seeing a lot of interest. So right now the big push is clean tech and AI, but R&D is always one of the largest and most permanent programs is focused on R&D, and the Canadian government is very invested in making sure that they are giving Canadian companies the best advantage they can.
Super. So you spoke about R&D, you spoke about patents, you spoke about Canadian companies. So two questions come here. One is, are these grants only for companies that are born out of Canada, or it can also be for subsidiaries of international companies setting up in Canada and trying to develop products and services in this market? Okay. The second thing is for developing products, patents, or trademarks here. What are the kind of incentives that are available for these companies?
So it doesn't really matter what as long as you are in Canada and you're doing you're running the company in Canada, the operations are in Canada, you are able to take advantage of these programs. So they have set it up so that if you are a Canadian controlled private organization and if you're a smaller to mid-sized company, just the scale of the grants that are available are much higher. So you would fit into a larger bucket in terms of what you can get back. But if you are a foreign-owned subsidiary, you can still take advantage of the program. It's It's just that the amount that you will receive is a little bit less. So the reason why they're really doing that is they do recognize the importance of, foreign companies and subsidiaries in Canada, but they really want to encourage and boost up, the Canadian companies and have people have Canadians set up companies here, set up businesses, and help them grow.
Superb. Now, when it comes to developing patents or developing trademarks or developing innovations in Canada, what kind of facilities are available to the companies here?
So there are a few programs that you can take advantage of. So there are some grants that you can use in order to fund your patents and your patent applications. But one thing that the Canadian government is starting, and they've kind of started in in Quebec right now, the province of Quebec, is a patent box regime, and they've been doing a lot of roundtables and just asking for a lot of opinions from industry to see what would be the best way to administer this plan. So they do recognize the importance of IP and patents for Canadian companies, and they're trying to figure out what's the best strategy. So that's something that, like I said, it's already been rolled out in Quebec, but we're looking to see it get rolled out across the country within the next couple of years.
Excellent. And when it comes to the employees or getting human resources, see, one of the important things why markets are outsourcing development and things are because of competitive human resources.
Mhm.
So, how are organizations within Canada getting this advantage of getting a quality resource at the same time making it affordable for them? What kind of grants are available for this?
So one great thing about Canada is, the talent pool here is amazing. So we have a lot of very qualified individuals and a lot of very skilled people from across the world choose to make Canada their home. And recognizing that obviously, cost of living and salaries are higher in Canada, and to mitigate, I guess, the attractiveness of getting work done over shore, there are a lot of job grants that you can take advantage of if you're looking to do any kind of licensing. There are some grants there that would pay for some of that. If you're looking to hire any students or recent graduates in the STEM field, there's grants there too that can help. And then there's always different programs being released. So for example, right now there's an AI program that's out there that you can apply as let's say a company who's looking to adopt AI technology. The way they've set it up is the company that's adopting it would be the one applying for the no interest loan or the grant, and then they can hire let's say a software development company to carry this out for them. And one of the criteria they're looking at is how are you growing the job industry, right? So how many people are you hiring to be able to fulfill this? So they're looking at many different ways to be able to do it, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities. And as long as you're kind of fitting the criteria what they're looking at, there is a lot of opportunity to be able to grow your labor market and still get some benefits there.
So there is another angle to it. Of course, there is a plethora of grants that is available for organizations. One is navigating this maze. The other is systematically applying because
Yeah.
again, it takes 3 to 4 months for you to wait and then probably get an idea of whether you are getting a grant or not. One some small mistake done by you and you are back by 1 more year. Okay.
Yeah. So
So how do you actually create a systematic approach to these grants? And what are the kind of things that the company should keep in mind while applying for these grants?
So with a lot of, I know you probably face this because you worked in a lot of different countries, but sometimes the way that a program is structured and the guidelines and all the different publications there are made to, or the intention is to make it very clear as to what qualifies and how to apply, but it can become just kind of overwhelming for companies, especially a small company where they don't have a lot of resources to read through pages and pages and pages of guidelines. That's where really people like me come in. I've been doing grants consulting for about 20 years, and so I have a lot of experience in, what type of things the government agencies would like to see, and we really kind of view it as a partnership, or we're kind of like the bridge between the two. So we know what the government agency wants to see, and we would look at, what the company would like to do, what are your goals, what are your aspirations, and then present it in the best light to the Canadian government. And our job is really just to make their job easier. So a lot of time we find that once they realize that they've kind of a company's kind of gone through our process of kind of vetting their projects and vetting their costs and just validating that that expenses are there, then that makes their job easier. So really, we do strive to kind of facilitate that. And we're the other thing with the Canadian grants landscape is there are some permanent programs that have been there for a really long time. So one of the R&D programs is scientific research and experimental development, been around for 30 years, very well established. The rules don't change very often, so so there's that one is always there, and a multitude of companies take advantage of it. But then depending on what is the government priority at the time, and what they're seeing, and what the budget is every year, there will be certain programs that get released. So, for example, one got released a couple of weeks ago, and the deadline is December 20th. So, our job is to really keep an eye on that and just make sure that we know what's coming down the pipeline so that we can have our clients actually have their applications ready. So, as soon as the portal opens, we're able to submit the applications right away, and then they're kind of at the top of the list because some of these programs do run out of money depending on the budget. So, our job is really to make any company who's trying to take advantage of the grants lives a little bit easier.
Wonderful. And from your perspective as Deloitte, since you have been doing this work with organizations for quite some time now, how do you help organizations identify what kind of grants can make, sense for them,
Mhm.
and then help them navigate this entire maze of how to apply and then ultimately get success? So, how do you go about in your practice with these customers who may be qualifying for grants?
So usually we would have a meeting where we would kind of sit down and so for example the R&D tax credit program is a retrospective program, so we can look back 2 years and see what kind of research they've done. So we would talk about, okay, in the last couple of years, where have you invested money, what have you developed, what have you grown, and identify projects in that way. And for any companies that are looking to take advantage of the grants, which usually you apply before you spend the money, we would look at their 3 to 5 year plan and just kind of see, get a detailed description as we can as to exactly what their aspirations are, where they're looking to spend money. And then we can, once we create that roadmap, we can kind of fit in the different grants that would apply. And then usually we like I said, we already know when the applications are going to open, so we already have the application ready to go once it opens. And then that also gives these companies a little bit of comfort in knowing that, okay, well, we're looking to spend this much money, we know that there's a good chance that we're going to get this much funding, so they can kind of decide like exactly how they want to invest their money and their time. We do have companies, even though the shred program is retrospective, we do get involved in planning there as well and talking to them about their projects and seeing which one we think is the most viable in terms of getting the R&D tax credits and help them make some of those decisions. So definitely there to support in any way we can, and on the advisory side and in putting the application together. So our team is very well equipped. We have scientists, engineers, and business and accounting professionals in the team, so we're able to really complete the whole application from A to Z and then support at audit if needed.
And finally, if a company wants to actually explore the kind of grants that are available for it, then what is it that they should be doing to get these grants possible?
So I would suggest reaching out to me as soon as you can. It's never too early. So we've worked with some companies where their plan to come to Canada was 3 or 4 years down the road, but we started having the conversations quite early on to talk about where they want to set up their office, because there are different grants and opportunities based on the region or the province that you're in. So we started having those conversations quite early, and then 3 or 4 years later, when they're actually in Canada, then they already have a solid plan. They know that, okay, we're going to hire 10 people. We're applying for these tax credits. We want to hire some interns. This is what we're going to be doing, and it just takes a lot of the anxiety off, setting up operations in a new country when you have that part of it kind of taken care of, and you can kind of focus on running your business and growing it.
Thank you very much, Sudha. One interesting, as a synopsis of this conversation, that I would probably like to bring about is the business is not as tough as it appears to be. There are a lot of helping hands for organizations which are really doing some state-of-the-art technologies or bringing in some good IPs or hiring in some good amount of people. It
Yes.
is not always that human resources or talent is always expensive in this part of the world. They are subsidized by the government to make sure that it remains competitive. So, along with the high amount of tax that organization or people pay, they are also given higher amount of grants and facilities to further their businesses. It is only a question of navigating the maze through the help of right kind of people like Sudha to identify which are the areas of businesses where you can get these grants, tax incentives, or any other incentives and take it to the next level and then systematically work on it, ensure proper compliance, and then lead to the business of the community as a whole along with your own business. Thank you very much, Sudha, for this wonderful conversation and look forward to connecting again.
Great. Thank you so much, Babu. I appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, like you said, always happy to chat and, help in any way we can. And, our goal is to support and to help and help, any new companies coming to Canada, even companies within Canada who have not explored any of the grants and opportunities out there. I always say, if you qualify, you should be applying, and you want to definitely make sure that you are having conversations before you miss some of those deadlines.